In this Groove workshop, I'll show you how to use the powerful Events feature to log and receive notifications by exception. Details on email setup are covered in another Groove workshop. In this video, we're going to use a fictional brewery as an example to dive deeper into event configuration, our powerful event status page, which lets you access the live event status and logs of all past events, and more on messages for use in emails, texts, and your downloadable log. I have already set up this simple page showing my beer stock. I created this page using the built-in simulator tags in Groove. This slider gadget, command button, and trend are all connected to the same int32 tag. If I move my slider up to the max of 99 here in Groove View, you can see the change in beer stock reflected over here on my trend. If I click on the Ship All Beer button, that will reset my value to 0. But let's say I want to know when my beer stock exceeds or drops below a certain threshold without having to constantly monitor this page. How can I do that? That's where events come in handy. I'll switch over here to Groove Build by clicking on the gear icon and show you how to set up an event of your own. To set up an event, go to Configure, Events. Here at the top, click Create New Event. Now let's add a new event that will let me know when my beer stock gets too low or too high. The first thing to do is give the event a name. I'll call it Beer Stock Problem. Next is where we set up the event conditions. I need to select a tag. I'll choose that simulated int32 tag that my slider and trend are connected to. There are several condition options to choose from. Since I want to know when my beer stock goes outside a certain acceptable range, I'll select Outside Range. Notice how now I have several more fields to configure. For my upper limit, I want to know if I have greater than 90 beers, because that means I'm running low on storage space and it's time to make more room. Now for my lower limit, I want to know when I have 12 beers or less, so I'll set my lower limit to 12 and the comparison to less than or equal to. Hysteresis is a handy option that will let me deactivate this event at a different number than the triggering limit. In this example, let's say we're not happy unless we have at least an extra 6-pack over the lower limit of 12. So my all okay limit is 18 beers. In that case, I would need to set the lower hysteresis offset to 6, since 12 plus 6 equals 18. Debounce is a great feature too. You will want to use debounce if you have a noisy or jittery value. In my case, I don't need to know if someone takes out a bunch of beer and then puts it right back, so I'll use a debounce time of 5 seconds. Then I'll click Add New Condition. For more complex events, I can continue to add more conditions and set it to have the event be active when any or all of those conditions are true. That's pretty awesome, and you can see how easy it is to have some pretty sophisticated events. Down here near the bottom is where we set up optional email notifications. I can select if I want this event message to go to all users with email addresses or just a selected few. Be sure to check out our workshop on email and text message setup. By default, all events are logged and optionally emailed with an appropriate begin or end message. But if you want to customize your message to include more information, for example, the current value of tags that are relevant, or even a link to the relevant group page, here's where you can include those. For example, I might want my begin message to say, Panic, beer stock problem, and then include the current stock. I can click here to select from a list of condition tags. I'll include the tag this event is watching. It's the only one, so this list is short. But remember, I could include multiple conditions where this list would include all the tags this event is watching. I may also include any tag configured in this project, or this handy timestamp. For my event end message, let's say keep calm and groove on, and then again list that level. Of course, that same tag is the condition, but it also shows up here in the project tags, where I can select any variable, including the one that was the trigger. Okay, I'll add some subject lines here for my emails, like out of range and all okay. Now that I'm done with all these event settings, I'll scroll up here to the top, click Create Event, then we're returned to the event list, and here is that event we just created. By default, the event is enabled, but we can disable those we're not using, edit or delete any event. Up here at the top, click Close. You'll see this bell icon in both Groove View and Groove Build. Click on the bell to get to this Event Status page, which shows me the current status of all my events. To cause my current status to change, I'll go to this other tab and switch from Groove Build to View. I'll take advantage here of Groove's ability to scale seamlessly. Okay, now my slider's up above the lower threshold of 12 and below the upper 90. To test out my deep bounce, I'll quickly drop my stock and bring it back up again before that 5-second limit. That event still shows inactive. But if I bring my stock all the way down to 0, if I'm patient and wait long enough for the event to trigger, we'll see that dot turn blue and it show active. I'll bring my stock back up into the hysteresis range of 12 to 18 and see it still shows active. But when I take it up here above 18, it goes inactive. Finally, I'll slide up here into the too high range. That'll also trigger this event. And here come all my text messages on my smartphone. We'll look at those messages in more detail here shortly. Also check out the Groove Workshop on email setup. So that's how you set up an event. But what if I missed an event because I wasn't looking at the status page or missed the email notification? That's where logs come in. Clicking on Message Logs gives me a historical view of all my events since they were set up or cleared. And it shows both the begin and end with a timestamp. Let's say I just want to see the events with the word problem in their name. I can use filters, type in problem here for the name, and now I'm looking at only those events. I can filter even more based on the message itself. Perhaps I just want to see those back to normal messages with the word calm in them. I can even sort by a time. Notice how Groove automatically gives me helpful clues about my filter here in the real-time window. One more option to check out here on the left, Log Controls. If you have the appropriate user privileges, you're given this option to clear logs, but I don't want to do that just yet. Notice I can also download logs. When I click here, my event logs are downloaded to my local hard drive. Since it's just a text file, you can open it in your favorite text viewer or even import it into your favorite spreadsheet software. In the meantime, since I'd configured this event to go to both my email and text message on my mobile phone, let's have a closer look at those messages. If I've configured an event to go to my email or text, it's because I want to know right away and presumably act on this information. So why not include a link to the relevant Groove page? In this case, my beer stock page is the first one I built, so it has a #1 as the last part of the URL. I'll just copy that address and paste it here in my begin message. Now I can scroll back up here to the top, update my event, and try it out. Back here in Groove Build, I'll move my slider around to trigger an email. Now if I'm not looking at Groove and I receive one of these notification messages, I can quickly get back to Groove from my phone or a computer with a modern browser just by clicking on the link, then see what's happening live. Groove's got me covered wherever I go. Thanks for watching.